Hey everyone, welcome back to Colourful Indian. It's certainly been some time since I posted on here and I'm sorry for that. I really need to take December off as a break and I didn't actually realize it, so I kind of thought that I would create looks in December and then I ended up not creating anything at all. And I did find that a bit disappointing, but I do think it was needed because I just needed that break so much. And then New Year's was a little insane for me. Those of you who are following me on, Facebook, Instagram, you would have probably seen that, it was a little bit stressful, but everything's okay now, obviously, and yeah, I'm ready to get back into creating my looks, and I'm so excited that I finally finished working with the Margarita palette. This was definitely, fun to try because if you've seen the palette, you know that it's got, quite a lot of colors in there. It's going to be fun getting into this palette for sure. I have got, the swatches for you and the unboxing, of course, as well as my fall looks and then my thoughts on this entire palette and then how it was like working with the shades as well. So you're gonna get all of that. And for those of you who are new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Ranita and I love doing makeup reviews, swatches, tutorials. This is just something I do to make myself feel productive and happy. I love colors, as you can probably tell from what I've got on my face right now. But yeah, I'm just really excited and I love makeup. So if you're here for all of that, then welcome. Yeah, I hope that you're ready to jump into this palette because I know that I am. So let's get into that. And this is probably the most colorful one in the entire collection. So I definitely am excited to try out these colors. Nice and pink. Again, very pretty packaging. I think that, it's a really lovely palette just as it is, but I don't think I'm actually going to be keeping any of those bottles because it's just so difficult to store that. But anyway, this is what it looks like at the back. As you can see, nutrition facts again. Yeah, and it says that it's distributed, it's made in China, assembled in the US. Okay, so let's open that and see how beautiful these colors are. This is the palette. So it is really pretty. I really love the color story for this because it just makes me so happy looking at all these pretty colors. It really is beautiful. Just take a closer look at those colors if you need to. They are just so pretty. As you can see, they again have shimmers. It's got that drink over there, that drink impression, just like the others have, and it's just really beautifully packaged, I think. I'm just really happy that all the palettes so far have shown up without being spoiled. That's the one thing I like about GLAMLITE's packaging as well. They always come so well packed, and even when it was shipped to Malaysia, the last time I got their palettes, it was just amazing. The palette survived with no damage whatsoever, so I think they really invest a lot into packaging and it definitely pays off. So these are the first 4 shades, so we're just going to swatch those. So I'm going in with Fresh Pineapple over here, which is this gorgeous gold shimmer, and then I've got Tamarind, which is this matte that you can see over here. It doesn't really stand out a lot on my skin tone. And then there's Tequila Gold over here, another gorgeous shimmer. I just feel like the shimmer is always so pretty from GLAMLITE. And then Tasty Mango over here, another matte shade. And then we have the next 4 shades. Pink Lemonade over here, a very pretty pink shimmer. I like that color. And then we have Shot Time, which is another matte shade, kind of like an orangey brown. And then we've got Presidente, which is this stunning teal shimmer. I really like this. It's so pretty. And then we have Watermelon over here. And then we have the next 4 shades. Right, so next we have Blood Orange, which is a really bright orange matte shade, and it's a bit crumbly, as you can see. I dropped some on my arm over here. And then we have got Melon, another matte shade, which also seems to be crumbly, but I did pick up quite a bit, and it does seem to be going on pretty easily. So, and then we have Blue Curacao. I hope that I'm pronouncing that rightly. And we have Prickly Pear, which is this gorgeous pink shimmer over here. I really like that shimmer. And lastly, we have Spicy Jalapeno, a really pretty shimmer shade. And then we've got On the Rim, which is a blue matte shade that you can see over here, and it's a pastel shade, very pretty color. And we have strawberry. I really like the strawberry shade. These are the gorgeous shades from the Margarita palette. As you can see, they're really, really beautiful. The mattes look pretty creamy, even though there was a bit of fallout with the shades, but it still looks really, really pretty, and I'm excited to create some looks with this palette. Before that, of course, we've got the 2 skin tone swatches coming up in natural lighting. This is what the swatches look like in natural daylight, and as you can see, they're very pretty on both skin tones. So now we're just going to move right on to the tutorials. Right, so we're going to start with Tasty Mango, which is this matte shade over here, and I'm just going to put that in the corner of my eye. So before you start this look, remember to apply your base and make sure that there's no creasing on your eye when you're applying the shades. So I did pick up a lot of this color, and I can already see that there's a ton of fallout happening. Taking it slightly above my crease and sticking to that inner corner. So once you've got enough color on there, we take the shade Blood Orange, as you can see, and this is a neon orange color. So I'm just taking that and I'm putting it over here. It looks more like an orange pink. I'm just joining that to the first shade using the same brush that I used. So this of course looks very, very pigmented, as you can see, and there's still quite a bit of fallout happening with the shade as well. And I'm just keeping it near the center of my eye. You can also see that there's a slight bit of patching happening right over there for reasons unknown to me. So I'm trying to get that color to build up there, but it is not doing that. And I'm blending it with the yellow as well. Right, so I don't know if you can actually see this, but there's a really, really big patch right there in the center of my eyelid, even though I've tried to pack on the color Blood Orange several times now. So I'm just gonna go in with the next shade, and I'll see if I can pack more color on there, you know, towards the end of the look. But I'm gonna be applying the shade Watermelon next, which is a vibrant neon pink, and I'm gonna just add that to the, you know, end of the Blood Orange shade. So it's not completely going to the end, but you are kind of starting from somewhere in the middle. So you can see that that patch over there is just not filling up no matter what I do. And now I'm going in with the next shade on the rim, which is this gorgeous pastel blue, and I'm just going to pack that right where I left off. And I'm slightly blending it in with that color as well. It's a pretty matte sky blue, so something that I've noticed about the mattes in general in this palette are that they are very, very, very crumbly. They just, it's really, really falling out. Like, you can see what my eye looks like right now. You can see just how much fallout there is, and I'm using, you know, the same method I use to pick up my other colors. I can see that there's a lot of patchiness happening here. Okay, like there is seriously so much patchiness going on with these shades. It is frustrating, and you can see that there's that big empty patch right over there. Right, so for the last color, which is Melon, it's this really, really pretty mint green. I actually went back, I took my older BH Cosmetics brush to see if I could get a different result, and yeah, you can basically see what's happening over here. It is just so, there's just so much fallout. There's so much of it, and I'm really, really struggling to make these colors work for me. They need a white base. And like, I did put a white base, but I didn't put one at the end, so I think that it's gonna be pretty obvious, like, that this color is not gonna stand out like as much as I want it to. And the other thing that you can see here is this big patch over there. Yeah, it's very, very hard to work right now with the matte so far for me. So I'm just blending it out here. I'm gonna try correcting the eye, and I'll give you my final feedback after I've actually like finished this entire look. This is the final look for the first tutorial using the Margarita palette. Guys, I felt so disappointed using this. Honestly, there was just a crazy amount of fallout. I feel like this palette gave me the most amount of fallout out of all of the palettes in this series, and on top of that, it was so hard to blend the colors in. You can just see the patches of color, and I actually made my eyeliner this bold because I just wanted to cover up that patch. I just didn't want that patch there at all. So yeah, it's just been kind of disappointing so far using, you know, the matte shades, and I have used 5 colors, and you know, every single one of the colors that I used, it was crumbling in the pan as I put my brush into it. And yeah, I was just not like super happy about it. But like, I'm looking at the look right now, and you know, I like the colors. They're very, very pretty. I kind of like how it's come out, but it's just, you know, the working with the color, that's so much a part of the process as well. And you know, when it doesn't work the way you want it to work, when it doesn't blend the way you want it to blend, when there's excessive fallout, it just makes it not as pleasant to work with. So yeah, right now I'm not like, I'm just disappointed with how the palette has worked out. I think that even in terms of blending, the purple palette had done slightly better with its mattes, because some of those mattes were just working very, very well. And you know, I have used the P. Louise base for all of my looks, and you saw that some of them just looked amazing. And I don't know what it is with the patching, like especially with Blood Orange, it just patched and patched and patched. And then when I applied the next shade, which was the neon one, the pink neon shade, that also kind of like didn't really blend in with the blue. So I kind of found that instead of blending it with my brush, I had to like actually go tap, 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 and I corrected the look several times before, you know, actually like showing the final thing to you. So yeah, this is, you know, how I feel about it at the moment. But we haven't jumped into the shimmer shades yet, and maybe, you know, using a combination of mattes and shimmers is probably going to be better. I could have covered this look up very easily with the shimmer shades, but I decided not to, because you know, it's very important for me to see how a palette is working. And it's not just about the versatility of colors, which I mean, here the versatility of colors seems to be pretty good. It's a lot better than just having a full monotone palette, I think. But the blending, the formula, the eyeshadow formula is just very, very crumbly. I was taking my palette and going like after every single shade that I applied to my eyes. So yeah, you know, this is how I feel about it. But you know, there's still hope, because we do have the next look coming up. So let's see how that goes, and I will let you know how I feel about this entire palette after, you know, the tutorials. Right, welcome to the second tutorial. I'm going in with Shot Time, which is a brown neutral matte shade, and I'm just applying that to the inner corner of my eye and into the crease area right there. So I'm not going all the way down to the inner eye area, but I am staying more in the crease, and I'm just taking my blending brush and I am moving the color towards the center of my eye. I'm not going all the way to the end. You just want to do that until you get, you know, just want to do that until you're satisfied with the payoff of color, and then we can move on to the next shade. Next, I'm taking the mint green shade Melon that you saw in the first look, and I'm just going to be connecting that to the first shade that I applied. And as you can see, again, there's so much fallout happening. So I'm just going to take this color and try my best to work with it. I didn't actually want the color getting all over my eye, like how you can see it right now. I actually just wanted it to be at the top. So this is going to be really, really tough to clean up. Now I'm going in with the shade Tequila Gold, which is a shimmer. And I'm going to apply it here to the inner corner of my eye, going into my crease, and then I'm going to take it up. I'm going to take it up towards my crease and move the shade towards the center of my eyelid, following basically the same pattern that I did using the matte shades. Like I had put that brown shade up till here until the center. So where the green starts, which is somewhere over here, is where I'm going to be adding the next shade. And we're just going to let that sit there very comfortably. The good thing about these shimmers is that you don't need to apply like a base or anything for it to actually stick onto your eye. It seems to just stay there very easily. So, you know, as usual, just take that crease line slightly higher than your actual crease so that it's easier to see. The next shade I'm going in for is called Presidente, so I'm just taking that and I'm applying it to the area where I wanted my mint green shade to be. I'm just going to cover up those areas where, you know, there was a bit of patchiness, and I'm going to just finish it by taking that shimmer downwards towards the end of my eye. And over here you can blend it in a little bit with that bronze shade as well. I'm just applying another layer of that mint shade shimmer and, you know, just blending it in. And just blending it in on both sides. So over here you can see that the green is not as obvious, and here it's more obvious. So I'm probably just going to add a bit more of that matte shade over here just to kind of like even it out, and then I will come back and show you the final look. So this is the final look for the second tutorial that we did, and I think that I'm happier with this one. The shimmers definitely impressed me a lot more than the mattes. Of course, with the mattes, you know, I was taking a lot of color because I was trying to get a very like decent amount onto my eyes, and I think what I realized was that if you take a smaller amount with your brush, it actually doesn't put as much fallout because, you know, you're just spreading that small amount of matte shade onto your eyelid. So I kind of realized that that makes it slightly easier. So if you purchase this palette, that's just, you know, a helpful tip for you. And the shimmer shades, of course, worked very well. They just slid onto my eyelids, and again, just very easy to work with. So I think it's just the mattes at the moment that are actually slightly difficult to use, simply because of the way that they become patchy. And I kind of felt that the green shade became patchy as well, like right in the beginning when I was only adding my matte shade. So I'd added the first brown shade and then I was going to the mint shade. So I think you saw, like, especially for this eye, there was like a bit of a patch over there. So I did notice that, and I was like, okay, this is yeah, it may be the formula of the shades that are just, you know, working in that way. So it could be better, I think. But yeah, we still have more to see, so let's just keep going. I did feel that using both mattes and shimmers together was a lot easier, simply because I was able to cover up that patchiness with my shimmer shade. So yeah, let's move on and see some more shades from this palette. Okay, so I'm going in now with my very first color, and it is a matte shade, and as you can see, it's looking a lot better when I put my P. Louise base. I feel like the color just looks so much more vibrant, and there's far less fallout as well when I'm doing this. Right, so this is the shade Tamarind, and I'm just using a packer brush, and I'm packing it right in the center of my crease. I have not decided what color I want to blend out, but I just want to put it right over there. And I'm packing it on. I'm trying not to blend. So when you pack the color on there, you're going to get a more intense color payoff, which is definitely more, you know, important if you're trying to achieve a vibrant look. Okay, so I know my eyes look really bad right now, but I just wanted to remind you that always use one of these brush cleaners, because honestly, this has just been life-changing. It makes such a big difference to the makeup application process, and I just love using these. I'm taking another one. It's Tasty Mango. It's a yellow, and I'm gonna be packing it over here. So you can see that I've already tapped a bit, and there's such an intense color payoff. There's not that much fallout as well. I think it's really because of the P. Louise base. It just makes such a big difference to makeup. So I would highly recommend getting this if you want to get your makeup, you know, to perform to the best of its abilities, because it makes a massive difference. Okay, so we're just going to tap that there, gently blend that in. You can see that the yellow and the pink are kind of blending in, and I'm packing that yellow onto my eye. Just connecting those two shades together. You don't need to take the yellow all the way up if you don't want to. And now I'm going in with the shade Watermelon, which is a very bright pink. As you can see when I just tap it there, there's such a big difference between that shade and this one. So I'm just going to tap it very gently near the end of my eyes. And this of course can be cleaned up, you know, towards the end if you don't want it to be very, very sharp. You just have to take your foundation and clean that up. So I'm tapping again. So yeah, I think that I'm actually enjoying using these colors more when I actually have a proper base, because when I don't have one, it doesn't seem to perform the way that I want it to perform. So I'm just gonna tap that a bit more, and then we're gonna go in with the shimmers. Now I'm going in with Fresh Pineapple, which is a gold shade, and I'm putting it right there in the inner corners of my eyes. As you can see, it's a very pretty yellowy gold, and it matches really well with the mango shade that I put on my eye. So I'm just gonna take it halfway. I'm using a slightly poofier brush, so I think I'm actually going to swap this for a flatter one just to get more pigment onto my eyelid. Right, so I changed my brush, and you can see how this looks right now. The flat brush is seriously amazing if you want to pick up shimmer shades. And now I'm going in with the shade Pink Lemonade. I'm attaching it to the gold over there, and you can see just how pretty, and I just like this shade a lot. It's very, very vibrant, and it's very smooth, very easy to use as I'm putting it there. I guess the shimmer shades generally are like that. The only thing I don't want shimmer shades doing is falling all over the place, because then it just looks really messy. And you can see that it blends in well with the matte shades in the palette as well. It definitely works. Right, so now I'm just taking Prickly Pear and I'm adding it right over here. I don't know why, but this color actually reminds me a bit of the dragon fruit, like the pink dragon fruits that I get in Malaysia, and we would add them to like our milkshakes in the morning, and this vibrant pink is kind of, you know, what you would see as a result of mixing it in with your milkshake. So oops, I dropped some there, but yeah, that's basically the color that I'm trying to get. I didn't want to add too much of it because we've come to the end, so I'm just adding a tiny bit at the end. It's a very striking color, and it's very pretty, and I just think this this palette reminds me a lot of summer. Very, very beautiful colors. Okay, so just a few thoughts before we move on to the final look. So first of all, how I feel about this look, I think I'm pretty happy with it. I did use you know, that green mint shade inside the palette, like under my eye, but I did line it with an eye pencil first just to kind of like make it a bit more darker over there. And I think that I noticed the mattes worked a lot better when you use a base. I'm pretty sure you saw in the previous look that with the matte shadows, they were just all over my face. It was really just everywhere, and it was so messy, but this one came out so much better, and I'm just really much happier with the way that this looks as well. I feel it's neater. I feel like the colors are so much more vibrant. So that being said, let's jump into the very, very last look using the Margarita palette. I feel like this is a very, very summery palette, and you know, it's kind of funny because I'm still working on this during winter, but you know, I love colors, so I'm not going to complain. I will see you at the fourth look. The first shade I'm going in with is this pastel blue on the rim. You've seen me use this color before. I'm putting it right into the inner corner of my eyes, and I'm taking it about halfway to my crease line. So as usual, I always, you know, go slightly above my crease line to make my eyes look bigger, and also just so that you can see that color a bit better when you when you have your eyes open. So yeah, we're just gonna take a small blending brush, and you're just gonna tap the color into the places you want it to get the maximum color payoff. The next color I'm going in with is Melon, which is that, you know, matte green shade, and I'm just gonna be putting it slightly around here in the center and connecting it to the blue shade, and then we're just gonna take it out from there. Take it towards the outer corners of your eyes like how I'm doing, but you can just keep maintaining that tapping motion. So I'm just going to come down here a bit and put that there as a base for the shimmers, and I'm going to continue tapping and just getting that color around. And I'm going in with the shade Blue Curacao, and you can see that, oh wow, this is really a beautiful, brilliant blue. I took a lot of it using a flat brush, and I'm just using that to cut out my crease because it's definitely like such a vibrant color. So I'm gonna take this a bit higher with my brush very carefully. I really like this shade. It's a very pretty Cinderella kind of blue. It really does remind me of Cinderella. Now I'm going in with the shade Spicy Jalapeno, which is a very bright lime kind of green shade, and I'm actually really excited to try this on my eye. You can see what it's looking like, and I'm blending that in with the blue as well. I think that this is also a very pretty shade. I've taken a bigger brush, blending brush, with the shade on the rim, and I'm just gonna come into the inner corners just to kind of like get that color to go into all those white spaces, and also maybe blend a bit with that green. But yeah, I just want to move it around a bit more. So when you're doing this, be careful so that, you know, you don't touch these shimmers and move them like to places that you don't want to take them to. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Okay, so I don't normally like wearing eyeshadow like here near my waterline, but I do want to use the strawberry shade. So I'm just gonna make this section over here a bit redder by using an eye pencil. This one is from Maybelline. So I'm just gonna use that kind of like as a base over here, and I'm gonna connect a bit of strawberry over that, and I will add strawberry there. And I'm gonna also put a pink shimmer shade on top of strawberry. I'm taking strawberry on a smaller brush that you can see here, and I'm just gonna gently tap that right over here. So you can see that, you know, that extra bit of color that's coming in, that is strawberry. It's kind of like a pinky red, I would say. So I'm just gonna add that over here underneath my eyes. So we're just gonna take some of that and we're gonna put it right over here underneath the eye using the same small brush. So I hope that you've had fun going through all of the tutorials and the unboxing and the swatches. Yeah, so let me just give you my thoughts on, you know, this particular look that I created. So first of all, yes, with the matte shades in the palette, that is, you know, the pastels and that one really dark red shade, which is strawberry. I do find them crumbly. So yeah, I think you would have basically caught on, you know, to all of that as I was going through my tutorials with you. When I used it today, I think that, you know, it really helps to use a brush like this. I think like a round brush when you're picking up the colors, and, you know, then to take that brush and to tap the excess off like this if you don't want fallout. The thing is, I like picking up a lot of color on my brush and then just smacking it on there because I like vibrancy. That's me. But if you don't need vibrancy and you just want, like, you know, a hint of color, then by all means, you know, you can use that other method and tap it off, or just apply how much you feel you need. With the shimmer shades, I definitely think that they're very pretty. So I absolutely love the shimmer colors. They are so beautiful, and they actually make me so excited to use them. In fact, I can think of so many more combinations, you know, like just using shimmers when it comes to this palette, or not even using the mattes. You don't even have to use them. You can just create amazing things just with the shimmers. So let's talk about versatility. Definitely 5 out of 5 here. Because there's so many colors and there's so many possibilities. And the thing about this palette is that it is a majority warm toned palette. You've only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, kind of cool tones, and even that green over there could be kind of considered warm because it's a lime green. It's a very pretty color though. I really enjoyed working with that today for this look, because you can see I've put it over there, and I think because I had used this mint color over here, you know, as my base, Spicy Jalapeno, which is normally a lime, actually kind of turned into a bit of a teal and you know, tealish kind of green. But not that I mind it. I mean, I still think it's a very beautiful color. Absolutely loved blue Curacao. Yep, so I absolutely love the blue shade. That one was just stunning, and I really thought it reminded me of Cinderella, you know, the live action version, and you know, all the butterflies and so on and so forth. So as I applied that, I really thought of that. Beautiful shade. Prickly Pear is also stunning. So yeah, I love the shimmers. I think they're gorgeous. One thing that I did notice though is that if you look at my eye at the moment, you can see there's a little bit of creasing going on over there. So I noticed that this yeah, I'm just gonna go back. Right, so I noticed that this was actually happening even after 1 hour of me applying the shimmer shade. Now, I did experience this with the other palette as well. So that would be the Dirty Martini palette when I was using it for that that teal look, the completely teal look that I had done. And I noticed that again when I applied the shimmer, like right over here, it keeps disappearing. And it's not that there's no base there, because I was very careful to put my base. I'm just taking my brush right now and I'm just running it over there to kind of like get rid of that, you know, patch of skin that keeps showing up. But it does keep happening, and I think you can see a little bit of that happening on this eye too. So I think that would be the only thing that you need to, you know, worry about if you're using this palette. But other than that, I think it's gorgeous. I definitely place this higher than the wine palette. So if I was to do a ranking of the palettes, I would first put the Chocolate Martini on top, because I really liked the neutrals. I thought that was a gorgeous palette and I was so happy with it. Strangely enough, that was my favorite. After that, I would put Dirty Martini. Then I would rank Margarita, and you know, last but not least, I would put the wine palette, simply because I think the wine palette gave me the most trouble, having, you know, mostly purple tones. And yeah, I'm pretty sure if you saw that video, you know I was struggling. But yeah, this one was actually a lot easier. It was more fun to work with. It's a summer palette. You can see that, you know, even from the color of the packaging, it really just reeks of summer. This is a summer palette for sure, right? So all in all, I think that, you know, if you like colors, this is the palette for you. Just make sure that you use your base. Super important. This is the one that I'm using, which is the P. Louise base right over here. People keep asking me what the white stuff on my eyes are. It's this. There's no secret over here. I use the P. Louise base always, because it just brings out the color so much better. And honestly, I have done a video on this. Like, I've shown you what it looks like when you apply a base and when you don't apply a base. And it's very important to use a base, because this keeps your makeup in place for longer. Now, of course, I do have a solution for the shimmers moving all over the place. So I know that there's this trick. You can use the NYX glitter glue, apply that before you put on your shimmers, and that will keep it in place. So I don't believe, I would actually not be getting those cracks in my makeup if I just apply the NYX glitter glue. So yeah, you know, this is a beautiful palette. If you like colors, I would say go for it. I don't have regrets with this palette. The toughest palette for me was the wine palette. The one I enjoyed the most was the Chocolate Martini palette, because I was so surprised by how excited I was about nude colors. I really was not the kind of person who would actually go for a nude palette until I tried that, and I was like, okay, I've been converted. So yeah, you know, the nude one was my absolute favorite. And I think today what I want to do is, you know, get into the giveaway. I need to tell you about the giveaway. So we're done with this with the GLAMLITE happy hour collection. I hope that this has been helpful, that it's, you know, just assisted you in making better decisions about what palette you want to buy and what you think is going to work for you. I hope the tips that I'm giving are also helpful, but I want to talk about the giveaway, because I know that I've been saying this for some time now and I haven't told you what I'm actually giving away. So let's quickly get into the giveaway. I know that I've taken a lot of your time already, and I want to share this with you, and I hope that you're excited. Okay, so for this giveaway, this year's giveaway, I'm going to be giving away 2 palettes, and the first one is this one over here, the Be Perfect Dream Big palette. Why? Because I feel like this matches a lot with my theme this year. I definitely am dreaming big, especially when it comes to this makeup channel. I'm hoping that this does well, you know, as time goes on. But I also think that Be Perfect just has a lot of amazing makeup palettes, and I'm never worried, you know, when I get something from them, because the quality is really, really good. The second palette that I'm giving away is Juvia's Place. Now, Juvia's Place was the first brand that I actually bought, like, after, you know, just sticking to the stuff I got from India for a very long time. And I took a risk buying Juvia's Place. A friend of mine recommended it to me, saying that, you know, it had rave reviews, and I was like, okay, like let's try this because I want to get lots of colors. And I saw that Juvia's Place had a lot of colors, and that's what drew me to them. This is the Magic Mini Palette, and it is one of my favorites. I love using the colors in here. It is beautiful. And last but not least, you're going to be getting these single eyeshadows. So these are Nomad Cosmetics single eyeshadows, which they actually discontinued last year. And I thought that they looked really, really cute at the time, so I decided to buy one set for myself, and I decided to get one set to give away. And you know, I didn't want to just give 4 eyeshadows away, because I mean that wouldn't have been fun. So I waited until, you know, I had actually gotten some other palettes. And so you're going to be getting these 4 Nomad, you know, single eyeshadows, and I am going to be putting the terms and conditions in the text box below. The rules are you need to comment on this YouTube video as many times as possible, tag your friends, and as well as my Instagram post. My Instagram post is going to have the word giveaway, so that is the one that you want to be commenting on as well. So those are the 2 things that you need to do. And of course, if you share it and then you tag me on your Instagram, you will obviously get like an extra, you know, chance of winning. So yeah, pretty standard, and I wish all of you luck in this giveaway. Thank you so much for your support and just for being amazing, and, you know, telling me what you'd like to see, for commenting, for just, you know, being there as my supporters. It means a lot. And for those of you who are new, if you like this video, please subscribe and share it with your friends if you think that they'd also like to see something related to makeup on their feeds, especially if, you know, you can relate to my skin tone and my makeup problems, which I no longer have, obviously. But that's, yeah, you know, makeup was very different, like 15 years ago. It wasn't this easy to access makeup for like every single skin tone. It was generally catered towards fairer skin. And you know, yeah, like I said, if you can relate to any of that, and if you like makeup, by all means, please join me, you know, on my channel. And that's pretty much all that I have for you today. So I will see you very soon, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Sending you lots of love. Bye.